we have discussed about the human digestive system, right? Now, the second life process, which is very important, called respiration. Respiration, right? What is respiration? Normally, there is a definition. We take oxygen in, giving out carbon dioxide. Okay, to some extent it is right, but it is not right. Because how do we know that we are taking only oxygen? Because as you know, air is a mixture of gases. It contains oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, carbon dioxide, ozone, so on and so forth. But in spite of that, if we take the air in that air, oxygen is the only gas having the capacity to give a survival to an organism. That is why respiration is nothing but taking air in, giving out air is called respiration. After that, we may say that when we take the air in, there are certain specialized, specific organs in our respiratory system which absorb or which utilize, which uses the oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide. Okay, so respiration is a process in which taking air in, utilizing the oxygen, giving out of carbon dioxide is called respiration. Okay. Then the cells normally use oxygen. Cells use oxygen to break down sugar and obtain energy. As we know, when we take food, it has to be digested. Fine. Digested food should release the energy which is required by an organism. Right? For that, the energy is very important. Fine. Now, the respiration involves two processes. One is called breathing. Another one is called cellular respiration. For this, we may also say gaseous exchange. Sir, what is this? Normally there will be a question, what is the difference between breathing and cellular respiration? So, breathing is nothing but intake of oxygen from the atmosphere and release of carbon dioxide is called breathing. ಉಸಿರಾಟ ವಾತಾವರಣದಲ್ಲಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆಮ್ಲಜನಕವನ್ನು ಬಳಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಇಂಗಾಲದ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹೊರಹಾಕುವುದು ಉಸಿರಾಟ. Where gaseous exchange takes place, that is breathing. Okay, next, cellular respiration. Here normally breakdown of simple food, that is in the cell, in order to release energy. This process takes place within the cell. This is called cellular respiration. That is breakdown of simple food in order to release energy within the cell is called cellular respiration. Now, there are different pathways where the organisms utilize energy directly from the glucose or from different pathways. Now let me tell you what are the different pathways in which glucose break down. Number one, glucose. What is the molecular formula? Yes, you are right. C6H12O6. Fine. Well, in glucose, how many carbon molecules are there? Yes, there are 6 carbon molecules. Is that right? Glucose having the molecular formula C6H12O6, in which 6 carbon molecules are present. Now, this glucose is reduced to pyruvate. Pyruvate or pyruvic acid, no problem. Pyruvate, which is having the molecular formula C3H4O3. Fine. So here, how many molecules are there? Carbon molecules? You are right. 3 carbon molecules. Okay. Glucose is reduced to pyruvate along with the energy. This process takes place in cytoplasm. Cytoplasm. I repeat, glucose having molecular formula C6H12O6, where 6 carbon molecules are present. Then it is reduced to pyruvate having the molecular formula C3H4O3, and it is having 3 carbon molecules along with releasing energy. This process takes place in cytoplasm. Number 1. Now, you just forget this glucose because it is already reduced to pyruvate. Now, what happens to this pyruvate? How pyruvate is more functional in the following process. Let me tell you about that. Pyruvate is converted into, that pyruvate is converted into ethanol and carbon dioxide along with energy. Pyruvate converted into ethanol and carbon dioxide. Point number 1. Sir, where this takes place? It takes place in yeast cells. In yeast. Pyruvate is converted into ethanol and carbon dioxide in yeast. Sir, when? The answer is during fermentation. Okay. Sir, in this process, what is the role of oxygen? That's a wonderful question. In this process, oxygen is absent. Clear? Pyruvate is converted into ethanol, carbon dioxide and of course energy in yeast cells during fermentation, where oxygen is absent or in absence of oxygen. This whole process is called anaerobic respiration. Clear? Pyruvate is converted into ethanol and carbon dioxide by releasing energy, where in yeast cells, when during fermentation, in absence of oxygen, very important. That is why it is called anaerobic respiration. That is number 1. Now, yes, it takes place in cytoplasm, of course. Now, the another one is the same pyruvate break down to carbon dioxide and water, releasing energy. This takes place in mitochondria. In mitochondria. in presence of oxygen. Oxygen is present. Alright? Pyruvate break down to carbon dioxide and water, releasing energy in mitochondria in presence of oxygen. This process is called aerobic respiration. I think you got it. I repeat, I just recall. First, 6 carbon molecules of glucose reduced to 3 carbon molecules in pyruvate. That takes place in cytoplasm. Now, the pyruvate is converted into ethanol and carbon dioxide in yeast during fermentation in absence of oxygen, called anaerobic respiration. Okay. Next, pyruvate break down to carbon dioxide and water in mitochondria in presence of oxygen, called aerobic respiration. So, there are 2 types of respiration that we have studied. Sir, in some cases, is there any chance of conversion of pyruvate? Yes, you are right. Another pathway is this pyruvate is converted into lactic acid. This pyruvate is converted into lactic acid. Sir, where? Yes, in our muscle cells. In our muscle cells, exactly in absence of oxygen. This is also called as anaerobic respiration. Then the question, sir, why pyruvate converted into lactic acid? Yes, during the deficiency of oxygen, that particular moment, pyruvate converted into lactic acid in our muscle cells in absence of oxygen, called anaerobic respiration. My dear students, you just have it in your mind. Normally while climbing the steps, right, or when we getting down the steps, we may have the muscle cramps, right? That is because of the accumulation of lactic acid. So, anaerobic respiration, 2 pathways. The both are taking place in cytoplasm, right? The end products, that's very important. Normally, the end products of anaerobic respiration are ethanol and lactic acid, of course, carbon dioxide. So, what about the end products of aerobic respiration? The end products are carbon dioxide and oxygen, carbon dioxide and water. Fine. Now, we have understood the different pathways of glucose breakdown. It's a fantastic process which takes place within the body. Fine. Now, we are going to differentiate between the anaerobic respiration and aerobic respiration. Okay. Let me tell you with the help of this. Fine. Anaerobic respiration, that is, it takes place in absence of oxygen, number 1. Number 2, anaerobic respiration takes place in cytoplasm, right? Number 2. Number 3, when we come to the end products, I told you, the end products of anaerobic respiration is the anaerobic respiration, ethanol, carbon dioxide and lactic acid. One thing I just correlate, I told you previously, anaerobic respiration takes place in cytoplasm, whereas aerobic respiration takes place in mitochondria. Okay, fine. Next, in anaerobic respiration, because oxygen is absent, the energy that is released is less. Got it? Now we come to aerobic respiration. What is aerobic respiration? It takes place in presence of oxygen. Number 2, it takes place in mitochondria. Number 3, the end products are carbon dioxide and water. Number 4, in aerobic respiration, the energy released is very high because of the presence of oxygen. Is that clear? Fine. Now, we will just compare this process with plants. As you know, gaseous exchange takes place in stomata, right? You just speak of what is stomata. Stomata are the tiny pores present on the surface of the leaf. Okay. What is the main function? Gaseous exchange. Okay. Next, carbon dioxide and oxygen. Carbon dioxide and oxygen exchanged by a process called diffusion, where exchange of gases takes place. Number 2. Number 3, one more important aspect. I will ask you one question. Normally the elders say, don't sleep under a tree during night time. Why? ರಾತ್ರಿ ಹೊತ್ತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೋ ಮರದ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಮಲ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡಬೇಡಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ವೈ? Because the answer is very simple. As you know, during daytime, the plants prepare its own food by using carbon dioxide, which is the product of respiration, right? But during night time, sunlight is absent, no photosynthetic activity. So, during respiration, the plants also take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. So, during night time, the released carbon dioxide is more in plants. That is why elders advise not to sleep under a tree. That's one important aspect. Okay, next. I told you, mitochondria is otherwise called as the powerhouse of the cell. Okay. Name the energy currency of the cell. ATP. Good. What is ATP? Adenosine triphosphate. Okay. Then, sir, what are the uses of ATP? Number 1, ATP used in contraction of muscles. I think you will have muscles which is supporting to the bone, right? Muscles. These are muscles. The hard substance is bone, that you know. Okay, fine. Contraction of muscles is only due to ATP. Number 1. Number 2, it helps in protein synthesis. You just recall the parts of the cell: ribosome, protein factories, etc., etc. Okay. Third one is, another important one is conduction of nerve impulses. Very, very, very important. When you will have sufficient amount of energy in your body, the nerve impulses that move from different parts to the brain will be normal, right? Otherwise, if the energy level is decreased, then the nerve impulses will not reach the brain properly. So these are all some of the things related to the plant. Okay. Now, what about the respiration in man? That's very important. All human beings are respiring. I told you the first one is organism is human beings. Okay. Organ system is respiratory system. Now the organs are. Which are the organs of respiratory system? Normally the nostrils, the ear, the two entrance to the air which get into the other organs. Nostrils having nasal cavity. Then we will have the pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, alveoli, diaphragm, lungs. Now I will draw the diagram. Along with, I will try to let you know the different parts. Right? Okay. The respiratory system okay, this is the face of a man. Here the nasal cavity. This is the mouth, oral cavity we call this as, right? Then it passes through the pharynx. Then you will have the larynx. Here is the larynx. Then you will have a trachea having cartilaginous rings. Please observe cartilaginous rings. Okay. Cartilaginous rings. This is a trachea. Then it is bifurcated into two. That is bronchi. Then you will have you will have two lungs, and you will have a diaphragm. Here this bronchi is further branched into smaller branches called bronchioles. These are bronchioles. I label the parts, don't worry. Then here you will have the ribs. Okay. So the lungs are well protected by ribs. Now we will have the different respiratory organs. Number one, nasal passage. That is nostrils. You can also label this as nostrils. Mouth cavity. Okay. Then pharynx. Then of course larynx. This is a trachea. Okay. Then these two are the bronchi. These are bronchioles. Bronchioles. Okay. At the end of each bronchiole, you will have a balloon-like or grape-like structures. They are called alveoli. Alveoli. And of course, this is the diaphragm. P-H-R-E-A-G-M. Diaphragm, very important, which separates the thorax and abdomen, and of course these are the lungs and these are the ribs. Okay, fine. So this is about the human respiratory system. Now, when the air is getting to the nostrils, the nasal passage is having minute hairs and the walls are having mucus. Both are acting as a natural filtering organs connected to the dust particles. Now it enters through the nostrils and reaches the pharynx, then the larynx, then it moves to the trachea or the windpipe, then it enters there. The trachea is bifurcated into two on each lungs. They are called bronchi, and each bronchi is having so many branches, further branches called bronchioles, and at the terminal end of each bronchiole we have a balloon-like structure or a grape-like structure called alveoli, right? Then here is a diaphragm. Diaphragm plays a vital role when we take the air in and give out air. This process of taking air in, giving out air is called inhalation and exhalation. What is inhalation and exhalation? Now, sir, what is the difference between inhalation and exhalation? I told you, during inhalation, number one, the thoracic cavity, it enlarges. Thoracic cavity. You just recall, the human body is divisible into three parts: head, thorax and abdomen. Thorax and abdomen get separated by a membrane called diaphragm. Okay, good. Now, when we inhale the air, thoracic cavity expands, number one. Then the ribs move forwards. Sir, what about the diaphragm? Diaphragm become flat. Lungs become enlarged to receive the oxygen, right? Then, what about the air? Air enters the lungs by passing all these organs. That is inhalation. Just opposite to this is exhalation. Sir, what is inhalation and exhalation? Exhalation is a process in which the thoracic cavity contracts. There it is enlarged, here it contracts. Number two, what about the ribs? It moves downwards. In case of inhalation, it moves upwards, whereas here it comes downwards. Here you observe the diaphragm become dome-shaped. Inhalation flat, exhalation dome-shaped. Then the fourth one, the lungs contracts, right? Lung contracts and air exits through the lungs. These processes are very, very important regarding the respiration in human beings are concerned. I told you alveoli is very, very important. Number one, alveoli is a balloon-like structure where exchange of gases takes place. So it gives surface for the exchange of gases. Number two, the walls of the alveoli is rich in blood vessels. Okay, that is the two functions of alveoli. So then what about the blood? Blood brings the carbon dioxide from different parts of the body and give it to the alveoli. Then the alveolar air that is present in the alveolar vessels, it takes the air and it is transported to different parts of the cell. Right. Then respiratory pigment, especially in human being, is hemoglobin. Hemoglobin, as you know, it is red in color. Hemoglobin is present in RBC. Okay. It has affinity towards oxygen. Very, very important. That is regarding the blood and oxygen and of course the functions of alveoli. All these processes involved in the respiration. Okay. Normally, carbon dioxide is more dissolved in water than oxygen. That is why in our blood, carbon dioxide transported in the form of dissolved condition. Next, the question is very, very important. Sir, you told about the human beings, you told about the plants. Sir, what about the remaining organism? That's a wonderful question. I will tell you, in aquatic animals, especially fish, one of the wonderful example, you just observe the fish and its activities in your aquarium, right? You just observe the fish. There will be a continuous opening and closing of mouth of fish is observed, right? Right. Oxygen is dissolved in water, that is in dissolved condition. Fish take the water in through the mouth. That water passes through the gills, respiratory organs that you know. While passing through the gills, the oxygen is absorbed and sent it to the blood in aquatic organisms. So what about terrestrial organisms? I told you, terrestrial organisms are utilizing the free oxygen that is in the atmosphere. Okay, then the question, sir, what happens when the fish is taken out of the water? Sudden answer, the reflex action is, sir, it will die. It is right, but it is wrong. It will not die. It will try to survive. It will try to get the dissolved oxygen. When it won't get that, it will die. That struggling will be there before the death. Similarly, can we send some or can we spend some time with fish in water for about a week? And no chance. Why? Because our respiratory system is adapted to absorb only that free oxygen. Whereas in water, the oxygen percentage is very low. We cannot utilize that low amount of oxygen for our respiration. That is why we cannot survive in water for a long time, and at the same time, fish cannot survive on the terrestrial mode for a long time. That's the wonderful aspect of respiration. So, last but not the least, how respiration takes place in plants. It's already known to you. Number one, normally gaseous exchange takes place in stomata, that is in leaves. Number one. Number two, there are certain specialized cells called lenticels that are present in stem. Through lenticels, respiration takes place. What about the root? The general surface of the root used as a respiratory organ. Okay? That's about the respiratory system on the whole. Compared to the plants and animals, you just what you should do is, you just recall. Difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration, difference between inhalation and exhalation, what are the different pathways of glucose breakdown, what is the difference between breathing and cellular respiration, and what are the different structures meant for respiration in plants. And you just recall the importance of alveoli during respiration. Okay, that's about respiration. I think we have studied two processes. One is called the digestion, another one is respiration. Okay, so first letter of digestion is D. So first letter of respiration is R. So all of us from today onwards, we are all doctors, because we know digestion and respiration. Sir, what about the other process? The other process are transportation, excretion, so on and so forth. I think that will take up in the next class. Thank you. Take the assignment related to the human respiratory system. The first question is differentiate between breathing and cellular respiration, aerobic and anaerobic respiration, inhalation and exhalation. Okay. Second one, write the different pathways of breakdown of glucose. Third question, write the uses of it. Fourth one, write the importance of alveoli. Number 4, 5, draw any diagram of human respiratory system and label the parts. Okay, right.